Hi there. Do you know of anyone who has been in a conversation and interaction with another person whereby there was nothing like an insult, there was nothing like a shout, or even an argument? However, the person left the conversation or interaction feeling small, dismissed, or unimportant? Or have you have such experience? If so, then this podcast is for you. Well, if you also want to learn about your emotions just as we do on this platform, then this podcast is equally for you. Welcome to the Streams of Emotions. My name is Moses. You can call me Mo for short, and I'm really glad you are here with me again. In this episode, we are looking on the subject contempt. When respect dies, relationship follows. And it's very important. This is episode 19. Before we proceed, I just want you to understand the subject of respect, which is very important. Sometimes you have heard people say, "Oh, you don't respect me, you are not respectful." And if you've observed, usually when people say that, the tone of which they say that is really bad. Why? Because respect is something that is important to everyone. Even a child needs respect. We all need respect. That is why when it's out of the relationship, when it dies, relationship follows. Let's understand respect. So, respect is basically recognizing the value, the dignity, or the humanity of a person. It doesn't matter whether you disagree with a person or not. You may not be perfect, but you must always remember to treat others with what? Dignity. So, respect, once again, is not about having less argument or no argument. That is not the point of respect, but it's ensuring that you value a person as a human being, as someone flesh and blood, just like you are. It's very important, and it is the foundation for healthy relationship. Once again, when respect dies, the relationship follows. But respect, a lack of it brings contempt. Let us try to understand the subject of contempt. When you talk about contempt, it means looking down on someone, putting yourself at the superior status and seeing others to be inferior, disrespecting them or treating them with disgust. Okay, it's that quiet or loud feeling that you make a person feel like, oh, this person is foolish, so to say, stupid or worthless. That is contempt. In this podcast, I want you to understand that most relationships don't collapse or become passive because of one major disagreement. No, that's not the case. Usually, behind that major disagreement, there were thousands of small moments that indirectly communicated this message: I don't value you anymore. And whenever people indirectly communicate this message, it becomes a problem in the relationship. Respect start dying off, and so the relationship. So, having looked at the subject of contempt and respect, I want us to consider this practical scenario. Let's say a wife comes home after a long day at work and discovers that the kitchen is still a mess, even though the husband who arrived earlier promised to clean the place. When we're talking about the subject of respect, the wife may say that, "Oh, I was counting on you to clean the kitchen. I'm tired, and you know it's frustrating for me to see the kitchen in a mess." Yes, can we figure out how we can solve this so that next time we don't have to be going back on this subject? Okay, that is respect. So, in doing so, though she's upset, though she's disappointed, but she's still holding him accountable for not doing the work and looking at how these things can be prevented in the future. He's still valuing the man. Let us look at how criticism will be. So she'll go like, "Oh, you never follow through on anything. Every time you say you will do something, I end up doing it myself." Now you can see from this statement that the focus has shifted from the kitchen to a negative behavior of the husband. And so instead of addressing the conflict, she's making a sweeping statement about a pattern she sees. It may not be always, but because of the recurring situation, the wife may make that sweeping statement. And we talk more on the subject of criticism in our previous episode, that is episode 18. Okay, so now let's look at contempt, how contempt will build up in this situation. There are two main things that may occur. One is sarcasm, and two is blaming identity of the person. So it will go like this. Take critical look of the response. "Of course, it's not done. Why did I even expect anything different from you? Honestly, you are like another child in the house. Now, the problem isn't about the dirty kitchen. No, the message has changed. It's like saying, I'm better than you. I can do better than you do. I don't really need you. I can live my life without you. I don't see you to exist here, especially when it comes to the kitchen, or it may be generalized. And that is when contempt is broadened, actually. One event or one mistake of a person is broadened to cover the whole life of the person and making you look down on the person or giving less attention to the individual. That means you are definitely expressing contempt. So, why is contempt so dangerous? Psychologists describe this as a threat to a person's sense of worth or belonging. And whenever your sense of worth or belonging is threatened, whenever that happens, you are most likely going to withdraw emotionally. You end up always defending yourself or you stop expressing your vulnerability. So sometimes you realize that people find it difficult expressing themselves to other people. Maybe it's because of contempt. They feel they are so superior to you, so you don't see the need why you need to be vulnerable to them. You end up even suppressing your ideas and feelings. And when this build up with time, it will create emotional distance. And the worst of it is that it can even make you physically not well. That is why contempt can be very devastating. I want to ask you this. Is there someone in your life that you have stopped listening to because of contempt? You thought they are not worth listening to. They are not too valuable to listen to. If because they are feeding you with negative things, that is okay. You need to safeguard your heart, your mind. But if it's because you feel so superior to them, then you really have to look at it because you can always learn from someone in any other situation. Okay. The good news is that contempt is reversible. You can always reverse it. It's not irreversible, it's very reversible. So, according to John Gottman, there are two things that can help with contempt. One is what? Culture of appreciation, and two is admiration. You see, the one that you are telling the person they never help, possibly they are also helping in other ways. So why don't you turn up to appreciate those areas where they are helping? So they might not be helping with the kitchen, but when it comes with anything technological wise in the home or anything that involve maintenance, they are there to do it. Why don't you appreciate those things? Because that is how, whenever people feel appreciated, they want to commit more to whatever that they are supposed to do. So, one, appreciation. And two, just as we mentioned, is admiration. Instead of exclusively focusing on the faults of people, learn to identify things that you admire about a person, their strength. You see, everyone is good at something, so learn to admire their strength. And I say that the more you magnify the strength of people, the better they become. Admiration and appreciation, they go hand in hand. When you appreciate people for what they are doing, they want to do more. When you admire them for their strength, they want to go the extra mile. And remember that the person that messed up today, let's say forgot your birthday, is the same person who supported you during your hardest season. So far as we are humans, we will make errors, we will make mistakes, and we are all subject to change. These things are part of being human. And when we understand these things, we will create room, okay, for improvements for others. You are not a perfect person. So let's just remember this humanity that we are all humans and we all work in progress. Finally, this is what I want to say. Respect isn't just about being polite or not. Okay, respect is more of the oxygen of relationship, and when respect is present, people feel safe. But when contempt take over, people feel unsafe, they feel unseen, and they feel unloved. The question I want to leave you with is, are you building appreciation or you are feeding contempt? The reality is that any of them will be available at any time depending on the one you give attention to. Remember, when respect dies, relationship also follows. Thank you for joining me on Streams of Emotions. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. And remember, every healthy relationship is built on one respectful moment at a time. Until next time, learn about your emotions, listen to them, and use them productively instead of allowing them to manipulate you. Have a wonderful time. Bye.